September 10th, 2025, Utah Valley University campus. Thousands of young people had gathered to listen to one man. Charlie Kirk was giving another fiery speech, talking to young people about America's future again. But that day, none of them would go home the same. At least, not as they were. Because in the crowd, there was a 22-year-old young man, Tyler James Robinson, and he had been planning this day. Before we tell this story, we need to know Charlie Kirk. 31 years old, a conservative commentator, founder of Turning Point USA, not just a simple politician, a figure who shaped the minds of millions of young people. In 2012, at age 18, he founded Turning Point USA. Back then, nobody took him seriously. Just kid stuff, they said. But Charlie had a different vision. He went to campuses, talked with students, engaged in debates. Sometimes he won, sometimes he lost. But he never gave up. And 13 years later, Turning Point USA became one of the largest conservative youth organizations in America. It had over 400,000 members, representatives on hundreds of campuses. Charlie Kirk was no longer just an activist. He had become a brand, the face of a movement, speaking on campuses, engaging in debates, going viral on social media, doing podcasts, writing books, appearing on stage with Trump. Those who love him call him the man who speaks the truth, the defender of free speech, the voice of youth. Those who hate him call him a dangerous provocateur, someone who enables hate speech, someone who pushes people to extremism. But both sides agree on one thing. Charlie Kirk isn't just someone who talks. He's someone who inspires action, and that's why he ended up on the radar of someone like Tyler James Robinson. But the real question is, why? On the morning of September 10th, Charlie Kirk flew to Utah on a private jet. This was the 47th stop of the American Comeback Tour. His wife Erica was with him too. Since they got married, Erica had always been by his side. They organized events together. When Charlie was on stage, Erica managed everything backstage. That morning, while having breakfast on the plane, Erica asked Charlie, "How many people are expected in Utah?" "Around 2,000, Charlie said. "Campus events are usually this size, but it's not about the numbers. It's about the message." Erica smiled. "You always say that." Charlie smiled too. But that day, neither of them knew this would be their last breakfast together. When they arrived at Utah Valley University campus, the team had everything ready. Stage set up, sound system tested, security planned. But nobody knew that. Tyler Robinson was ready too. 22 years old, an ordinary young man living in Utah. At least that's how it appeared from the outside. When he left home that morning, his mother had asked, "Where are you going, Tyler?" "Just to campus," Tyler had said. "There's an event." His mother hadn't suspected anything. Tyler had always been a quiet, calm kid, someone who didn't cause trouble. But what about inside? The FBI would later comb through Tyler's social media accounts, and what emerged were just ordinary political posts. He wasn't someone who had gone to extremes. He hadn't written threatening messages. He hadn't called for violence against anyone. He hadn't shared gun photos. He hadn't written a manifesto. Then why? The answer to this question would shock even the FBI. Charlie Kirk took the stage. The crowd was energetic, some applauding, some booing. A typical Charlie Kirk event, supporters and opponents always together. Charlie grabbed the microphone. He started speaking with his signature energy. "America's future is you," he said. "No one can silence your voice. They try to intimidate you on campuses, but you are strong." The crowd got more excited. Some stood up. Applause rose. Charlie continued, "They call you guilty, hate speech, extremism, but the truth is, speaking the truth has never been a crime." Right at that moment, a single sound, neck area, single bullet. Charlie Kirk stumbled. The microphone fell from his hand. His eyes widened. 1 second, just 1 second of silence. Then, his knees buckled, and he fell. The crowd didn't understand what happened at first. A few more seconds of silence, everyone looking at each other in shock. Then, chaos, screams, running, panic. Gunshot! Run! Someone's been shot! Security guards rushed to the stage. Erica ran too. She fell to her knees by Charlie's side. "Charlie! Charlie, look at me! Look at me!" But Charlie's eyes couldn't focus anymore. An ambulance was called. Police sirens rose, the crowd scattered, the campus went into lockdown. But it was too late. Charlie Kirk, at age 31, lost his life at Utah Valley University before the eyes of his loved ones. And Tyler James Robinson disappeared. Wait a second. If you don't want to miss the rest of this story, subscribe now and turn on notifications. Because what I'm about to tell you are facts even the FBI didn't anticipate. What was Tyler Robinson's real motive? What did Charlie Kirk's family do? And what happened at that ceremony with 95,000 people? Let's continue. Finding Tyler Robinson, who fled the scene, became a priority for the FBI. Kash Patel, FBI director, held a press conference just 3 hours after the incident. His eyes were determined, his voice clear. This is an assassination, a political assassination, and we will find the perpetrator at any cost. A reward of up to $100,000 was announced. Utah Governor Spencer Cox also made a statement. His voice was trembling. "We've never seen such an event in Utah's history. This isn't just a murder, this is a political assassination, and we will never, never accept this." The FBI immediately sprang into action. All security cameras on campus were examined, hundreds of people were interviewed, social media was scanned, and finally, an image was found. A young man leaving campus with something in his hand, among the crowd. Tyler James Robinson. But what was truly shocking was Tyler's profile. The more the FBI investigated, the more surprised they became. He wasn't far right, not a QAnon follower. He wasn't far left either. Not an Antifa member. He wasn't a member of any organized group, not connected to any cell. He hadn't written a manifesto. He hadn't sent threatening messages. Just an ordinary young man. Born in Utah, graduated high school, went to college, worked a part-time job, had friends close to his family. So then, why Charlie Kirk? Some theories emerged. Personal revenge, orders from a secret organization, a psychological disorder? Or was it a completely random choice? But the truth was none of these. And when the truth came out, everyone would be shocked. What caught Tyler Robinson wasn't technology, wasn't a tip, wasn't secret intelligence. It was his family. The FBI spread Tyler's photos everywhere, on TV, online, on social media. Tyler's face was everywhere. And in a home in Utah, a mother and father were watching television. When Tyler's photo appeared on screen, both froze. "No," said the mother. "No, this can't be." The father silently reached for the phone. With trembling hands, he called the FBI hotline. "This is our son," he said. His voice was breaking. "The young man on screen is our son, Tyler James Robinson. We don't know where he is, but we want to help." The FBI immediately took action. The house was surrounded. Tyler's phone records were tracked. Friends were interviewed. And 2 days later, Tyler surrendered. Early one morning, he came to the FBI building. Hands up, unarmed, alone. His first words upon surrender were recorded, "I'm not sorry, but no one will understand why I did it." FB interrogation began. Hours of questioning. Tyler started talking even without waiting for his lawyer. But what he told was a story no one had anticipated. Prosecutors requested the death penalty. Media erupted. Political leaders made statements. But there was still an unanswered question. Why Charlie Kirk? Weeks of investigation combed through Tyler's past, and finally, something was found. Year 2022. Tyler was a sophomore in college. A Turning Point USA event was being held on campus. Speaker, Charlie Kirk. Tyler had gone to the event with friends, just out of curiosity. Politically, he was neither right nor left, just curious. While Charlie Kirk was speaking, Tyler asked a question. He went to the microphone. He was excited, maybe a little nervous too. "Mr. Kirk," he said, "I agree with some of your ideas, but don't you see contradictions in some points? For example," Charlie had cut off Tyler's question. "Contradictions?" he said. The audience laughed. "Listen, kids, here's a typical campus liberal, trying to look smart by asking complex questions," but the crowd laughed more. Tyler turned bright red at that moment, was so embarrassed he wanted to sink into the ground. He put down the microphone and returned to his seat. His friends had said, "Forget it, don't take it seriously." But Tyler took it seriously. When he left campus that day, something broke inside him. It wasn't just being mocked. This had triggered everything hidden inside Tyler. Years of accumulated anger at the injustice of the political system, at the hypocrisy of the media, at the condescension of elites, at a world where he couldn't express himself, and Charlie Kirk had become the symbol of that anger. Tyler changed after that day, became more withdrawn, spoke less, thought more, and for 3 years, he made a plan. September 10th, 2025 was the final day of that plan. But be careful. This doesn't justify him. It just helps us understand why he did it. Because the truth is, Tyler wasn't born a monster. He didn't wake up one day and say, "I'll kill someone today." He slowly, silently, step by step reached this point. And maybe if someone had noticed, September 21st, 2025, Arizona State Farm Stadium, 95,000 people gathered for Charlie Kirk. Outside the stadium, there were lines for miles. People waited for hours. Some had come from Tyler's state. Some had flown in. Inside the stadium, there was silence. Such silence that you could hear a pin drop. On stage was a giant screen. Charlie Kirk's photos, his speeches, his laughter, moments with his family. President Trump came. Vice President J.D. Vance came. Republicans, Democrats, senators, governors. Everyone was there. But the one who drew the most attention was Erica Kirk. In her black dress, she silently walked to the stage. Charlie's wife, now CEO of Turning Point USA. When she reached the microphone, she stopped. She looked at the stadium. 95,000 pairs of eyes were looking at her. Her eyes were filled, but her voice was clear. Charlie wasn't just my husband. He was a father, a friend, a leader. Her voice trembled, but she continued. Charlie was killed for speaking the truth, for not being afraid, for not giving up. Voices began to rise from the crowd. Some were saying, "Amen." Some were crying. But I know his voice will never be silenced, because he wasn't just a person. He was a movement, a hope, a future. Erica wiped her tears. Then she looked at the crowd and said her final words. "And I will continue his work. Turning Point USA will live on. Charlie's legacy will live on. America's hope will live on." The crowd gave a standing ovation. The applause didn't stop for 10 minutes. Some were crying, some were angry, some were both. Trump had lowered the flags to half-mast. The FBI was continuing its investigation. But now everyone knew. Charlie Kirk wasn't just a person. He had become a symbol. And Tyler James Robinson had tried to destroy that symbol. But he had failed. Because ideas don't die from bullets. But the story doesn't end here. Because the internet became another battlefield. As soon as the incident happened, social media exploded. Some said, Charlie Kirk didn't die. This is a hoax. False flag operation. Staged to pass more security laws. Videos were shared. They said, the footage is fake. The blood splatter is CGI. The ambulance was rented by actors. Even some AI chatbots produced false information. When asked, did Charlie Kirk die? On Grok and Perplexity, no, Charlie Kirk is still alive and actively running Turning Point USA. These responses were screenshotted and shared thousands of times. Look, even AI is saying it. Charlie Kirk is alive. But fact-checkers stepped in. CBC, CNN, Snopes, PolitiFact, all separately verified Charlie Kirk really did die. Fake CNN headlines were detected, manipulated photos were removed, false suspect names were corrected, AI companies updated their responses, published apologies, but conspiracy theories are still circulating. Because some people don't want to accept the truth, especially such a painful truth. Because Charlie Kirk's death isn't just one person's death. It feels like the death of an idea, a movement, an era, and some people can't accept that. So what do we learn from this story? First, hatred doesn't form instantly. It accumulates over years. Tyler Robinson didn't decide overnight. That small humiliation slowly turned into great anger. He carried it inside for 3 years, fed it, grew it. Second, words have power. When Charlie Kirk mocked Tyler in 2022, he forgot about it the next day. But Tyler never forgot. One sentence changed the course of a human life. Third, political polarization isn't just a difference of opinion. It's now a matter of life and death. In America, we don't just think differently anymore. We see each other as enemies, and enemies get killed. Fourth, the internet has mixed reality with fiction. Charlie Kirk's death was broadcast live. The FBI verified it, his family verified it, but people still say fake, because now nothing feels real. And most importantly, fifth, every action creates a reaction. Charlie Kirk inspired young people to take action, but he also inspired Tyler to act. A different action, a dark action. Charlie Kirk's death isn't just an assassination, it's the end of an era, and perhaps the beginning of a new one, a darker era. Right now, Tyler James Robinson is sitting in his cell, awaiting the death penalty. Erica Kirk is trying to continue her husband's legacy. Turning Point USA continues its events, bigger, louder, more angry, and Charlie Kirk's voice still echoes in his videos, his recordings, in the memories of his supporters. But let's not forget this. Tyler Robinson was once an ordinary young man too, going to campus, studying, having dreams. One day he went to the microphone with a question, and his life changed. So what brought him to this point? Maybe Charlie Kirk, maybe the political system, maybe the media, maybe the internet, maybe his family, maybe his friends, maybe all of us. Because it wasn't just Tyler who created Tyler. It was the society that mocked him, the system that isolated him, the internet that radicalized him. And maybe the answer is inside all of us. When we write hateful comments on social media, when we look at someone with opposing views as an enemy, when we deify political leaders, when we belittle young people, maybe we're creating the next Tyler. This story isn't over, because Tyler's trial continues. Conspiracy theories are still spreading, and Charlie Kirk's legacy is still being debated. If you enjoy these in-depth stories, subscribe to my channel. In the next video, I'll tell you another shocking truth. And you, what do you think? Was Tyler Robinson right, wrong, or just a victim of the system? Did Charlie Kirk deserve this, or was he an innocent victim? Could this incident have been prevented, or was it inevitable? Write in the comments. Let's discuss. Because this story is all of our story. And the next Tyler or the next Charlie might be watching this video right now. America's future is you. No one can silence your voice.